it's Valerie here again today on Tuesday, March 24th, I think. So I'm doing these every day at 1 o'clock. As long as everything is good and I'm able to, I will be. And I'm just going to try to explore a variety of drawing things you might want to draw. We're going to throw in another dinosaur or dragon pretty soon because that's a crowd pleaser. And maybe some faces. What else have I got up my sleeve? More animals. I think I've got a wolf coming in the near future. So today I thought I'd do a little cartooning. And the idea with cartooning is that you're speaking a universal language without words. That no matter where you are on the planet, if you look at this person, you know that it's raining and it's windy and her umbrella is pulling her away. You know this kid is happy. You know she's a little concerned. Okay? Things are different, in different cultures or whatever, but that's pretty much a universal read. We know what's going on here. And so the other thing is that drawing figures is great. We'll probably do a little practice with something like that too, with the actual proportions. But this is cartoons usually have exaggerated proportions. A lot of times the heads are huge in comparison to everything else. This girl's head is not particularly huge, but these feet are ridiculously small. And if your feet were that small and your head was that big, you'd be falling over all the time. So we'll just keep that in mind, that it doesn't make a lot of difference. But we're going to make these two people doing these things on this rainy day here in Orono, Maine. We have like 6 or 8 inches of snow that we got last night. So no rain, but it's coming. Those rainy days are coming. So let's get started. I'm going to do, again, a drawing with Sharpie in black and white. That would be easy to color with markers too if you want to. And then I'm also going to do one with the pastels because, why not use a little color? And also if I do 2, that gives you a little bit time to get caught up. Okay, let's start with... I'm going to start with a black Sharpie, well, obviously. And then if you're going to use color, what you want to do is... Oh, there it is. This is a color that I like to use as just a general background color that will, because the pastels, again, will blend a little bit. This, I can kind of sketch out the whole picture with it, and then when I go to put the color in, the colors will just kind of pick up the brown, and they'll just seem a little more natural anyway, and that will work fine for what I'm doing. It also works great for faces and skin, because I can add a little, light peach for white people, and I can add a little ochre, or even a darker brown, or an ochre is this kind of like brownish yellow, or maybe you have some other tans or whatever for different skin tones, but this will work great no matter what you choose. So this is the sienna. Again, I use this a lot. So I'm going to sketch out the drawings with these 2 pieces. Another color that's good, it's not so great for skin, but is gray, because in a rainy scene, it's going to have kind of a gray feel to it. So that's also a great choice. Okay, let's do it. All right, so we're going to start with this girl's face. And what we're looking at is we want it over here. You need a little room. You don't want to have her head to the top. It'll just change the direction of where you put her umbrella. But we want to fit the 2 of them on there. So I'm aiming right over here. The only thing she has besides her face is a little hat, so you can get it right over here in the corner. Okay? So I'm going to start with a just kind of a big smile. Okay? Somewhere over in that corner. Same thing down here. Just a big smile. If you're using a marker and you work, or pencils or something, and you work a little bit smaller, that'll be fine. But if you're using a pastel, try to get big, because otherwise it'll be hard to get things in. What we want to do is her hat next. So you're going to round that up a little bit like a rainbow, and then you kind of go around like this, and you have a little hat. And she has a little, perhaps you might call it a beret. Okay? And the same thing here. All right, and when you're doing the color, if you do it a little lighter, that'll work better, but I'm going to try to do it dark so you can see it. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is the scarf. Okay, we're going to save her face for just a little bit. We'll get warmed up and then we'll do that part. So she has a scarf. You're going to come down from the side of her neck, kind of like this, and you can bring a line that goes up. And then you just come from the other side of her face. You have a little piece of scarf. Don't go too far because you're going to have to put that umbrella in here somewhere. She probably has another piece of scarf, so you can have another little piece that comes out. We'll just leave it like that for now. Whoop, that doesn't work. All right, so we're going to have the scarf comes up. If you don't make it long enough, I know some people make it super short, add a little piece on the end, and then when you stripe it, you'll cover up that extra line. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is the line for the back of her jacket. So the great thing about this cartoon is that she's, being dragged by her umbrella, so she's kind of leaning back, trying to get her weight into it. So we want this line to curve just a little bit. I mean, if you make it just like this, she is off the ground, but you also have kind of run out of room for this guy. So not necessarily way off, but you can come right off the back of her. You have a problem, which is unfortunate. But so you're going to bring a line that comes over like this, maybe around that. Okay, right close to her back is where the shoulder is. I'll get my shoulders back. Okay. And then you're going out like this, and you have a little coat sleeve. Okay? Now what we want is we want to show her chest. So we'll bring the bottom of this coat, and if you bring it up a little tiny bit, like this, okay? And then you're going to start right here by her, right inside here. Okay, that little line right there, and you're going to bring that out. Okay? So here's her arm right up next to her scarf. This one's a little bit harder to show. And then we have this. Okay. And so then we can have the arm that's on the other side of her body because she has both arms holding this umbrella. In this one, it's a little bit below. Oh yeah, I guess I'll do that. Okay, so we're going to have a little line that comes right from the bottom. Okay. And how this person did the hands, I didn't actually draw this cartoon. This is something I got online. So we thank whoever it was that originally designed it. I don't know who it is, or I'd tell you. You make kind of a little loop. And then if you make little circles, it'll look a little bit like you're clasping your hands like this. Okay? If you don't, if all you do is make a ball, that's great too. Okay? We know what they are. They're hands, right? What else would it be at the end of your sleeve? Your hook, maybe? I don't know. Okay. We're good here. Let's do the legs, and then we'll go up there and do her face. So make sure when you're putting these feet on that you don't get them way over here, or you'll have to do your kid sitting in the puddle either up here, so he'll look farther away, or on a different piece of paper. Okay. So I'm gonna bring a couple of lines out like this, and then the boot is just, you keep going, go across the bottom, bring this one down. All right, that's a funny looking leg. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other one. She's got those little feet. She's going. My girl is. That's a little weird because her legs are a little different sizes, but whatever. It's a cartoon. That's okay. Okay. All right, so let me do the legs down here, and then we're going to put the face in. Let's see if I can do it a little bit better this time. All right. There we go. Okay, so to do her face, get something kind of pointy, and aim big for these eyes. We're going to make her face is, she's looking a little bit to the side, so instead of putting her eyes right in the middle of the face, you can put one of them a little closer to the side of her face, and it's going to make it look like it's turned. So if I make a nice big circle here, and a nice big circle here, okay, And then what I'll do is I'll put the eyes. Normally you don't want to do this, but when you have really surprised eyes, then you show lots of white, okay? And then she's like, ah! If she's laughing or smiling, your girl thinks it's fun, then make a smiley face. But if you want to make her kind of, you know, concerned, then you make just that big O shape, okay? And in reality, when you open your mouth up, it's very, very black inside there, aside from your teeth and your tongue. So you would color in her mouth. If I leave, let me think if that. Oh no, I don't know if we're back on. Okay. I think we're back on. Somebody send me a message if we're not, and I'll check in just a second. Okay. That would be like a couple of little teeth if you want. Okay. And then we want her hair blowing too, or his hair if you want to make shorter hair. Or if you don't want any hair, then you can have it bald. But if you do, don't be, oh yeah, and the eyebrows would be up high. So already we have the cartoony face. If you want to add the hair, you'd have to go over some of this a little bit. Maybe you just want some blowing this way. That's on the side of her face. And maybe you have some pieces that blow over the face here. And you can skip the bangs if you want, and then you'll be able to show your, you'll be able to show the eyebrows. Okay? Okay, let me just check, and then we'll make the umbrella. Okay. Thanks, Arlene. All right. So let's do this umbrella. Let me see what I need to do down here. All right, so do the face down here. Again, I'll make the big eyes and a big mouth. And I might make her eyes a different color later, but I'll do it like that. And then anytime if you're doing in color and you just want to add other colors in there, go for it. Okay. Good? Okay, so the umbrella can go anywhere. Anywhere in your picture, you just have to have the stick attached. You have to be able to attach the stick to the hand. So we're going to put the stick on there first. So and it doesn't have to be super long because you want a nice area for your umbrella. So I'm going to aim right about over here for the handle, and you continue that on the other side like this. Okay, so she's holding it. Then what I would do is the top curve, the rainbow curve on that. So you're going to be a little distant. It's not going to touch this. There's going to be a space. So if you're not sure, just watch first. So I'm going to go around like this. And then what I'm going to do is right where the handle is, I'm going to make one of those curves, and then I'm going to add a couple on like this. All right. That way it's going. And then I would imagine the stick would come out on the other end, like right about here. Okay, well, she's right in that guy's way. Oh well. Okay, and then if you want, you have the little pieces that hold it. So they're all curved towards the there, like that. All right. So I'll do that down here. I'm going to start with the stick, the handle, come out on the other side. I'm going to round that out, around here and here and here and here. Whoops. All right. Well, maybe I'll put another one here. Doesn't make any sense, but I'll put it on there anyway. Okay. Oh, she doesn't have a nose. So you can make a little, whatever you call that, a little nose like that. 2 little dots, whatever you want to do. But she should have a nose, otherwise she'll look like Voldemort. All right? We can fancy up her, you can do things with her clothes later if you want to. The pocket is kind of over here because she's side 2. Her little buttons would run here. All right, let's go for it. Let's do the kid in the water. So we'll say this is a boy, but if you want to make it a girl, if you want to make it whoever you want, you go for it. Like I said, I'm running. Don't have a lot of room, but that's all right. If I make him a little smaller, it just is going to appear that he's a little bit farther away, because we're going to assume that these are, you know, kids roughly the same size, and that's just a way to show a little bit of perspective. So that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to put him over here, and I'm going to start with just a big smile like that. And I'm going to add an ear on here and an ear on here. Okay, so do that first. Get it up close to your umbrella, because you don't have much to put on besides the top of his head for that. All right. Then I'm going to go around with the top of his head. Okay. And what I want you to do is you're going to have this big smile that we would say from ear to ear. So you're going to take a line and you're going to bring it almost from ear to ear like that, okay? And then you're going to come down and around and you're going to make it huge, okay? So try that. I'll do that down here. All right. Before I forget, I'll give him a little nose. All right. And what I found was, it looks better when you make the eyes a little bit smaller rather than huge rainbows. But you're going to make two rainbows, one for the eye and one for the eyebrow. So you're just making little curves like this, and then a little eyebrow up on top. And then the hair is going to be a little bit bigger than his head. And maybe you have it kind of in some points, and that will kind of make it look wet. If you want to have that kind of, if you make the hair, the lines for the hair kind of straight, then it's going to look like it's being pulled down. All right, and so I'll do that here. When you smile that big, your eyes get squinty almost always. If you smile without showing your teeth, then your eyes don't get squinty. All right. Whoops. Here, down here. Okay. Okay. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to give him a little neck. All right. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to make these little overalls. So I'm going to come down like this and across. Okay. And then I'm going to go out a little bit here and out a little bit here. It's a little kid, so he doesn't have huge, broad shoulders. All right? And then this, I'm just going to take this line. This is his strap. And I'm just going to bring that right down, maybe a little bit of a slant on both sides like this. And there's the buttons. Maybe you want a little pocket. Okay? There you go. Whoops. Do that. And then this and this. Okay. So he's sitting in a puddle. All right. Keep that in mind. So don't go too far because we're stopping right about his belly here. So we're going to bring this to be a pretty straight line. We're going to give him a couple of arms. There's an arm here. And then it starts here. He's got skinny little arms because he's a little kid who's skinny. And then, you know, this one has these stripes, just so you can kind of keep track of. Okay. We're going to show a little, we have to have a little bit of reflection, but let's put the toes in first. So in this case, you know, these toes are pretty close to where the arms are. You want a little space in between, and normally feet are pretty big, but since this is a cartoon and because she has teeny weeny feet, then and you're just going to make, but the line has to be flat like this on the bottom. So connect it down so that it hits like that, because water settles flat. Okay, so get to that point. I'll do it down here. So I have a straight line here. So we need the puddle, which she's about to fall in the puddle. Well, that'll be funny. The thing you want is for it to be wider down at the bottom, a little narrower here. So you might want to start here. I'm going to make it as big as I can. Maybe it doesn't, maybe I have to go off the page here. And then when I do this part of it, it'll get wider here. Like I said, like Daphne said, it's a very deep puddle. So if I color, just so you can see, if I color this guy's overalls in, what we have to do, the whole secret to drawing anything with water or painting anything with water is that it's not blue, it's whatever color is reflecting in it. If somebody handed you, if you said you were thirsty and you, somebody handed you a glass of water and it was blue, you would be like, you know, what is this? You would not expect it to be water. It would be weird. So we know water is clear, but it reflects everything that's around it. So in this case, what's happening is whatever is here, we want a little sense of that here. And so if I color in these shoes, not a lot, you want a little here, okay? So for this one down here, I know I could have a brown mud puddle. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna have this shape that's going to get a little smaller. Don't forget to do it where the arm, under the arms, between the arms. He's going to be sitting in mud. It definitely looks like that. So whatever I use for a color for his overalls, all right, I am going to reflect that into this puddle, even if it is mud. It would still reflect what's around it. Sometimes this time of year, if you go out and you look in the puddles, and there'll be this just really incredible gray, brownish, mucky color. But if you look, they reflect these bare trees that are above them, and it's just incredibly striking and dramatic. So keep an eye out for that when you're looking outside. When you look at a puddle, see what you can see in it. Okay, so that would reflect there. So that's pretty much it. The other thing is, unlike this one, my daughter made me aware of, that if the wind is blowing her umbrella away, then the rain, you know, is coming from this direction rather than from this direction. And you can make little raindrops, and you might want to even make them on her hat and her coat. Or you can make just little dashes. I wouldn't do them all over his face, even though he would be getting rain on his face. You could do them off his hat, off of these things. You know, maybe off the edge of her coat. If you want to see some fantastic rainy day pictures of kids and like just everybody, try Pete Rumney. He does amazing paintings that would be fun to try to draw, and sometimes I do them in a class. You know, we want some sense that there's ground where she's going to fall in just a minute. I don't know if I'll do a little coloring on this, and you can get caught up, but I'll show you here what I would do next. So say she's a little on the pale side. I can go right in here and color her face. I think this works pretty nice for somebody a little bit darker than me, which is most people. Don't forget the ears. You don't have to do the neck. Usually that's something everybody forgets, but we don't have to do that. We have to do her hand, unless she has gloves on. But say I give her a yellow coat. See how that you can just kind of blend that brownish right into it. But whatever colors I'm using on my girl here, I'm going to put on the ground, because that's going to help to make it look like there's some rain down there. Let's see. I won't go crazy on this, but here's a little blue. You can see how the brown just works its way into it. It works better than using black, because if I put black on her yellow coat, when you go to put if you have the black outline and you go to put the yellow on there, it's going to turn like greenish, probably, because it is all going to blend in there. Where the brown works pretty well with most of the colors. So say I have a little red scarf. Okay, maybe she has some little red boots. If she's got little red boots, then she's going to have a little bit of red right down underneath here. Maybe even over in the mud puddle. Let's see if he has black boots. He is deep in this puddle of mud, for sure. You can tell because it's up to his waist. All right? And he has pretty big feet. There we go. Maybe you want to go over his eyebrows. Let's see. I might want to hit her eyebrows again. Maybe you make her hair darker. If you made a mistake somewhere, the best thing to do is to take one of your darker colors. I mean, you might love doing everything in yellow, but it's a really hard color to cover up something that you have made a mistake with. So try something dark. Dark colors like the dark blue, purple, dark green. A lot of times red's pretty powerful. You can color over things with red. So with his mud here, I could either, I kind of like the idea of it being brown. Let's try that. One of the things I always try to get, I learned this from my, instructor, Richard Merkin, that whenever you're making a picture, you make it, or do a drawing, try to make it a picture. So instead of just having people just floating in midair, try to get something that suggests a background, even if that only means, pretty brown. Even if that just means just a line across the bottom, it still puts things into a world. So let's see. The black. That's what I was going to do. Put a little bit of black reflection. What do you think, Daphne? What am I missing?
Looks good.
All right, so, if I have a little line out here, where they're sitting, maybe it's time for a little bit of grass. Maybe, I can't find here it is. Maybe a little bit of gray. There we go. So just so you know, all of these videos are on my Valerie Wallace Fine Arts Facebook page. If you go to videos, there should be in a playlist, so they're all sitting right there. I got one of them on YouTube, so I'll add the other ones there in case you know somebody that doesn't use Facebook. And I'm working on IGTV, if that's more, if you know somebody that works with that, so it's like through Instagram. I need my water over here. And how about a nice orange And also, if you are interested in letting me know you're out there and you want to send a buck or two my way, I have a donation ticket on my ValerieWallaceFineArts.com website, and you could go to the ticket page and you'll see me there, and it's also on my Facebook page if you're interested, and that's really fantastic if you do. I do totally appreciate it, but if you can't, please just share this with somebody you think that would be interested, and I'm taking suggestions at any time for better things. So I'm going to add a little bit of, maybe get her a little brighter eyes. Oops. A little bit of rain here. I think maybe light blue. It would come off the umbrella. It's fun to do it with paint because you can paint right over everything really well, but that works pretty good. And maybe down here on your ground as well, not just in the sky, because, let me give her some stripy socks. Okay, I think that's good. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Again, just share the video or my page with other people. You can watch them anytime you want to. And let me know you're out there. Give me a like on the page so I know that you're watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Take care.